If you ever sat down with a lender and asked, how much house can I afford? The number they're going to give you is an important starting point, but it's just that, a starting point. That number, it tells you what you're qualified to borrow. It doesn't tell you what's going to feel comfortable in your life, especially when the property tax bill comes, when the HVAC needs replacing, and when you want to take a vacation without having to check your bank account first. So today, I want to walk you really through the full picture, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a clear framework for figuring out what you can truly afford and really not just what a bank will approve you for. This is the same conversation I have with every buyer I work with, and it's one of the most important ones we're really going to have together. So obviously I'm a real estate agent and I make these videos so you can walk into the home buying process informed, confident, and ready to make a great decision. So let's go ahead and we're going to get into it. Part one is understanding how lenders calculate what you qualify for. So let's start with the basics. How do lenders arrive at that pre-approval number in the first place? Well, they look at something called your debt to income ratio, or your DTI. It's a simple calculation. They take all your monthly debt payments, divide by your gross monthly income, and most loan programs allow that ratio to go up to somewhere around 43 to 50%. So if you earn $7,000 a month before taxes, you might be approved for a housing payment of $3,000 or more. But that's the lender's job to determine the maximum amount you're qualified to borrow based on the loan program's guidelines. But really, here's where sometimes buyers get tripped up. That maximum number is calculated based on your income and debts on paper. It doesn't calculate for everything else going on in your life. Your savings goal, your activities, your future plans, the pace of life you actually want to live. That's where your own analysis comes in. The pre-approval number, it tells you the ceiling of what's possible. The next step is figuring out the right number for you. The one that's really going to let you buy a great home and still live the life you want. Part two, the three numbers every buyer should know. When I sit down with a buyer for the first time, we look at three numbers. These are the numbers that paint the real picture of affordability. Number one, it's going to be your real take-home pay. So this is the money that actually hits your bank account each month. It's after your taxes, after health insurance, after retirement contributions. It's really after everything. It's not your gross income, it's your real usable income. And this matters because lenders work off of gross income, but you live off of net. So building your housing budget around your take-home pay, it gives you a much more accurate picture of what's truly comfortable. So number two, you've got your full PITI plus HOA, right? So PITI stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's the complete mortgage payment. It's not just the principal and interest, the portion you might see in an online calculator. Property taxes and homeowners insurance, it's escrowed into your monthly payment, and depending on your area, they can add several $100s a month on top of the loan payment itself. If your home is in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, HOA dues add to that as well. So always look at the full PITI plus HOA numbers when you're evaluating a home because that's the real monthly cost that you're really going to see. So, and number three is going to be your lifestyle budget. This is one most buyers don't think to factor in until later. How much do you need each month to live the life that you want? Retirement savings, family activities, dining out, travel, hobbies, emergency savings, all of it. A great home is one that fits comfortably within your full financial picture, not one that consumes it. When you factor in your lifestyle goals up front, you're really setting yourself up to enjoy the home that you buy. So part three is the cost of homeownership beyond the mortgage. This is a section I really want every buyer to understand because owning a home, it comes with costs beyond the monthly payment. And knowing about them ahead of time, it makes you a more prepared and more confident buyer. So property taxes. When you purchase a home, your property may be reassessed based on the purchase price. That means the taxes the previous owner paid might not reflect what you'll be really paying going forward. When you're estimating your monthly costs, always base your tax estimate on the purchase price, not on what the seller was paying. Your lender or agent, they can help you run accurate numbers, and those numbers do change. Then you have homeowners insurance. So as everybody knows, insurance premiums have been rising across the country, and rates can vary significantly, really based on the home location, your coverage choices. Get a real insurance quote before you finalize your offer so there are no surprises in your monthly payment. Then you have your HOA fees and special assessments. If you're buying in a community with a homeowners association, you'll pay monthly fees and you'll also pay annual dues. It's also worth noting that you should be asking about something called a special assessment. That's a one-time fee, and HOA can charge homeowners for major projects like roof repairs or shared buildings or repaving roads. So knowing whether any are pending, it really helps you budget accurately. And then you have maintenance and repairs. A common rule of thumb is to budget 1 to 2% of your home's value every year for maintenance. On a $400,000 home, that's $4,000 to $8,000 a year. Then you're setting that aside just for upkeep. Some years you may not need it. Other years, multiple things will need attention at once. That's really just the nature of owning a home. So setting up a maintenance fund from the beginning makes those moments manageable and not stressful like it's going to be. Then you got utilities, and we all know utilities tend to go up when you move from a rental to a home, especially if you're going from a smaller space to a larger one. You got more square footage, your own water heater, your own HVAC system, lawn care, it all starts to add up. And then you have setup costs. So in the first 6 months after closing, most homeowners spend more than they expected on furniture, appliances, paint, window treatments, lawn equipment, tools, and small repairs. It's worth budgeting a cushion for these one-time costs. So the mortgage payment is the foundation of your housing budget, but it's not the whole picture. Knowing the full cost of ownership puts you in a much stronger position. Part 4 is a framework for affordability. Here's a simple framework that can help you evaluate whether a home fits your budget comfortably. A common guideline is to keep your total housing costs, your PITI, plus your HOA at or below 28% of your gross monthly income. And this is generally considered the comfortable zone, where you have room to save, invest, and really enjoy your life. Between 28 and 33%, you're in a stretch, but it's a workable range. And this can be a fine zone if you have minimal other debts, like no car payments, no student loans, no credit card balances. If you do have other monthly debts, staying closer to 28%, it gives you more breathing room. And above 33%, you're approaching what's sometimes called house poor territory, where the home payment, it doesn't leave really much room for anything, so it's really limited room for other goals. It can still work in some situations, but it's worth a careful conversation about priorities and trade-offs before committing. A few additional guidelines I like to share with my buyers. Aim to keep 3 to 6 months of your full housing payment and savings after closing, not before, after. Closing costs and moving expenses, they can take a bite out of your savings, and having a cushion in place after you move in protects you from any surprises in the first few months. Be thoughtful about retirement and emergency funds as well, because pulling from a 401k for a down payment is sometimes possible, but the long-term cost can be significant. Wherever possible, aim to keep your retirement and emergency savings intact. The goal is really to walk into your new home feeling excited and prepared, not stretched thin. Part 5 is how to think about the right home for you. So here's something that I've learned in this business. The best home isn't always the most expensive one you can qualify for, or the one with the most square footage, or the one in the trendiest neighborhood. The best home is the one that fits the life that you want to live. Definitely. Just remember that. And that's why when I'm working with a buyer, the first conversation we have is rarely about houses. It's about life. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Are you planning a family, thinking about a career change, considering aging parents who might move closer? All that informs really what kind of homes are going to serve you well. And affordability isn't just a math problem. It's about lining up your financial picture, your life goals, the home itself. So all three of those things, they're working together. And when those three things are aligned, buying a home becomes one of the best decisions that you're truly ever going to make. So here's a quick recap of what we covered during this video. So the lender's pre-approval is a starting point. It's not a target. Your real budget comes from your take-home pay, your full PITI plus HOA, and your lifestyle goals. Beyond the mortgage, you got to plan for taxes, insurance, HOA dues, maintenance, utilities, setup costs. And use that 28% guideline as your North Star with adjustments based on your full financial picture. So if you're starting to think about buying a home, I'd love to be a resource for you. So drop a question in the comments, send me a message, or just check out the other videos on this channel. I really make them to help buyers and sellers navigate this process with confidence. So if this video helped you, share it with someone you know who's thinking about buying. Because honestly, the more informed buyers we have out there, the better. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care.